Good morning, YouTubers. I'm doing an alternator on a 2019 Chevy Traverse 3.6 liter. The tools that I use to take the alternator off are going to be a flathead screwdriver, 3/8 drive ratchet, 1/4-inch Torx bit, 17 millimeter wrench, 15 millimeter ratchet wrench, 1/4-inch drive with a T15 Torx bit, socket, 10 millimeter wrench. Let's see, what is this? I don't see the number, but it's a Torx bit on the Torx bit for the engine cover screw. Alrighty, so what I had to do is there are, let's see here, there are two screws that I use the 1/4-inch Torx bit to back out. Let's see here, the alternator bolts. There were two alternator bolts. I backed the 15 millimeter nuts off of both of the screws here, and I used the 1/4-inch Torx bit to back the studs out completely from the engine block. There's a screw right here on the side of the engine block that this little idler pulley has a long screw bolting into the side of the engine block. This is how the alternator would look from the top if you look down in the engine compartment. Let's see here. The alternator looking from the top. Let me go back for a second. There's an engine cover here that has a screw. I think the screw goes, if I'm not mistaken, it might be here. The screw looks like this. I don't know the size of the Torx bit that takes the screw out, but let's see here. The alternator would then be here, right under, after you take the cover off, right under the oil filler neck. The alternator would be sitting here. Okay, so I took the two Torx bits studs out here, and there are two 15 millimeter screws. Again, I just backed them off, used the Torx bit, the 1/4-inch Torx bit, to back the studs out here. I had to use a jack as well to jack the car up, or the truck rather. And then there were three little Torx screws here that I took from here, here, and here. Then there was one here to where I had access to loosen the tensioner. I used a 1/2-inch drive breaker bar to get in there to move the tensioner to take the belt off to be able to get the alternator out. Alrighty. And once I did that, I kind of ran into a problem because I thought the alternator would be best to come out here. I ran into a problem with this refrigerant line. So I found that there was a 10 millimeter screw right here that I needed to remove to take the bracket off, to move the hose back a little bit so I can pry past the refrigerant hose here in the oil filler neck, or the oil filler dipstick tube. I was able to get the alternator out from here. Let's see what else. I kind of got stuck on this O2 sensor here, but I was able to maneuver past it to get the alternator out from here. Let's see, is there anything else that I think you guys should know? Let's see here. On the alternator, there was a 17 millimeter plastic nut that goes here. This is what it looks like, a 17 millimeter that holds the battery cable to the alternator. All you have to do is just put your wrench on and turn it lefty loosey, righty tighty off to get the cable off. And then I looked at the new alternator, so I'll know exactly how to get that little plug off here. I was able to use a flat screwdriver. Once I took the alternator loose and I was able to rotate it, it's a press-in plug here. I used a flat screwdriver to kind of pry up on it to get it past the little clip here, and I was able to get the alternator off. And again, I had to maneuver it past the dipstick tube. Again, the bracket had to come off here on the refrigerant line and maneuver it past O2 sensor, and I was able to get it out. Again, hopefully this video helps somebody with a 2019 Chevy Traverse 3.6 to do the alternator job. Thank you.